Okay, we had the new parts come through from the factory. We'll get them on the car ahead of FP1.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of my F1 2018 career mode. Today we are here for round 7 of season 3 for the Canadian Grand Prix. But if you guys did miss the last race at Monaco, then do check it out by clicking the card in the top right hand corner of your screen. A very important race and a bit of a different Monaco Grand Prix to what I'm used to, but all in all, a very good episode. Go check it out, and actually a couple of overtakes in that race, which was quite impressive. So we arrived at this race in Canada. We have a double chassis upgrade on the car, which does keep us towards the top. However, we do drop down to second place as Force India bring a massive raft of upgrades for this weekend. But we do put some distance between ourselves and Toro Rosso and Ferrari. So a nice solid double upgrade. I believe they're both minor, but there's still performance on the car, and that's 3 chassis upgrades in the last 2 races now. So we're now putting away in the chassis department. So that's good news for us because we can start focusing elsewhere in terms of future development of the car. So straight away into Friday practice, and had a pretty decent setup on. Not a great setup. I still had to make some modifications. I wasn't completely happy with it, but the session was okay. We did okay. Got most of the targets, and all in all, I had a lot of confidence that we could do a good job going into qualifying. However, I did notice the car track combination didn't feel as good as what it has been in the last 2 years with the Toro Rosso. So I was a little bit cautious in mind, about qualifying, knowing what could happen, and I was keeping my feet on the ground because you never know. It might not always work out, and I could see by the pace that it was going to be a very, very, very close affair. The entire field, you could argue, is covered by like 1.5 seconds, and that midfield pack is so close and so dense, and it's going to be extremely close in qualifying. But first of all, let's have an interview with Claire.
Are you hoping things clear up before qualifying? You left some bodywork out there on the track. Were you struggling for grip? Appreciate your time.
And with that said, we jump into qualifying on Saturday here. Lovely sunny conditions, no rain expected, and it's going to be a pretty straightforward session for us here today. And hopefully, like I mentioned, we can try and have a good session. I've got the confidence underneath me. I think I made a couple of setup changes just before qualifying. I think I went for 4 and 7. I went 5-8 on the wings and 7 on the ballast. Also, my concern in the long term this weekend, especially for the race, I'm hoping there's no tyre overheating issues, because that's the kind of thing that's been a thorn in my side the last 2 races. We've had the pace in Spain and Monaco, but tyre temperatures and overheating has been a real big distraction and not really allowing me to really push to the max, and I'm really suffering with said tyre overheating more than any other time in this game. It wasn't this bad in Toro Rosso, and I was pushing that car a lot more than this one, so definitely the car needs some work to try and fine tune it and try and get rid of those gremlins. But all in all, let's see how the qualifying goes. Straight away delving into Q1 here on the Hypersoft compound tyres, and we're not messing around as per usual. Q1 we go on the fastest tyre to see if we're competitive. However, on my first lap, it's not spectacular, and we go P16. We're only a second off the top, but that's how close the pack is, and I was a little bit worried. So up against it, we go out for another run in Q1 on a fresh set of hypers. You can see I'm all over the place, but really trying to go for it here. Purple first sector, half a second up in sector 1. That was my strongest point all weekend long. Sector 2 being my weakest point, and then sector 3 also being a strong point of mine. But I lost so much time in sector 2. You can see there now I'm 6/10 down. I've lost about 1.1 seconds because I was half a second up in sector 1 there, and then we pull some back through the final sector. As you can see, 2/10 up on my delta, re-throwing it through the chicane. Is that going to be enough? Yes, it is. We jump up into 8th place, and that is going to see us through into Q2. But the margins are so fine. You can see the gaps on the right hand side there from Bottas downwards. It's extremely close, and we do get through to Q2. Speaking of which, we go on to the Ultra Softs, the slower of the compounds. In the first run, as per usual, we go P14, quite a way off the pace as expected, but we go back out on a fresh set of Hypersofts. 25 seconds to go, our last run of the session. Let's run and ball for a full lap here. Straight away, turn 1, brake as the white patch ends on the right hand side. Sacrifice turn 1 by attacking the curb and losing a bit of speed to really open up turn 2. Focus on your exit. Exit speed is critical as we now go into 3 and 4. Right left chicane combination as close as he's there to the wall on the right, flat out through the right, as we now go into 6 and 7. Left-right chicane combo this time. A little bit of the curb on the left. I lose the back end slightly and kind of ruin my line through there, but we're still up on the delta. Not too shabby so far. DRS open on the back straight as we brake just as the shadow ends underneath the bridge, attacking that first curb to really open up the second one for another right-left chicane combination. As we now go for the hairpin here, you want to look for the 100-meter ball on the left-hand side, brake just after it, down to second gear, pick up your apex, try and look for that late apex, so open up your entry and focus on your traction and exit speed to dictate how fast you will be on this back straight. As we now open DRS and currently about half a second up on our previous best, and now it's all or nothing. We need to just absolutely throw it into the final chicane and hope it sticks. So here we go, 50-meter board, throw the car in as a reference point, really attack the curbing, keep to the right hand side for the shortest run to the line where it miles up on our previous best. Is it enough? And unfortunately it's not going to be, and it's P12 for us in qualifying, and we just miss out on a Q3 position, which is unfortunate, but not entirely surprised because, like I said, there was such fine margins and the pace was so close. You can see down the right hand side, really close qualifying, and ultimately we miss out by a 10th, but all in all, not too bad. Hopefully we can do something tomorrow with a free choice of tyre. So that being said, let's jump into the race for round 7 in the Canadian Grand Prix.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to a variant of this track back in 1978. It was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. We'll be seeing top speeds of around 210 miles an hour here at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 2/3 of the lap taken at full throttle. High-speed chicanes spell potential danger, especially at the infamous Wall of Champions. And watch out for overtaking into the hairpin and the final chicane. Anthony Davidson is here once again for today's Grand Prix. Let's talk about Martinez. No grip penalties, no mitigating circumstances, just a poor qualifying performance and a very disappointing start position for them today.
It's not a nice feeling, I promise you. They've got a quick car underneath them, but they've got onto the grid today and they need a pair of binoculars to see the start lights. They'll be desperate for a good start to make up for some of that deficit.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Raikkonen, Hamilton, Daniel Ricciardo, and Perez, Hülkenberg, Ocon, Hartley, and Pierre Gasly, Stroll, Martinez, Carlos Sainz, and Leclerc, Grosjean, Magnussen, Sergei Sorokin, and Marcus Ericsson. Alonso and Stoffel Van Dorn completes the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
It's race time here for the Canadian Grand Prix. P12 on the grid alongside, it looks like, Lance Stroll, from what I can tell, the home hero, and it's going to be an interesting race, this one. We don't have the pace that I expected, and this is a track that I've enjoyed in the past and I've been quick at, so I'm kind of disappointed that we don't really have the pace. Having said that, we do get the massive benefit, just like in Monaco, of strategy, and we're going to get the one stop here today. Ultras onto Supers, the exact same strategy we did in Monaco, but for this track in Canada, avoiding the hypersofts, and fuel-wise, we are 1.5 laps over, so hopefully that will benefit us and it will play into our hands. Unlike in Monaco, hopefully tyre temperatures shouldn't be as much of an issue, but I'm a little bit concerned because lately, every track I go to, this car just struggles with tyre temperature, so I'm a little bit worried. Hopefully we have no issues with it and we can just drive and accept the fact that we must struggle for pace in different parts of the Grand Prix, but I don't want to manage tyre temperatures. If so, it's going to really piss me off because it's really frustrating driving like that. So hopefully we can have a good race, and fingers crossed we can try and at least I want to get a top 5 finish. That's my target. Continue the momentum because we've had a good little run of results. Even though the qualifying's been piss poor, we've been good in the races, with that podium in Monaco. Also, China as well was good. Spain was average, but we showed good promise in qualifying. So it's a little bit topsy-turvy, so I'd like to get some consistency about me, especially with Paul Ricard next, and then you've got Austria as well. They're good tracks for me, so I want to be competitive in those. So with that being said, let's jump into it here at Canada, and let's see if we can make something out of a bad situation and try and make it a good weekend for us. So without further ado, let's jump into round 7 for the Canadian Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. Let's get ready for the 5 red lights here for the Canadian Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go. Not a great start, has to be said. I think we're 3 wide here and I'm going to have to get out of it. Into turn 1 there we go, around the outside of Pierre Gasly. Aggressive start, trying to not lose contact with Lance Stroll, who's on the exact same tyres and I'm going to presume the exact same strategy as me. Up the inside here, getting the move on Gasly done, and also going around the outside of Stroll. It's super aggressive from me. Oh, very close to Ocon there, but I'm not going to commit to the overtake. I'm going to sit behind him because that Force India is fast, and that's going to be a good way for me to follow and get myself up the order. We're into the top 10 though, 2 places gained, and into the point. Solid start here on the Ultra Soft compound tyres. Now it's going to be a challenge to stay ahead of that Williams behind me because he's going to be so fast on the straights. So I'm going to put in rich mix already here and start burning up the fuel because it's going to be a challenge to stay in front of Lance Stroll here. He's going to have the extra fire in his belly as well because it is his home race, so we need to focus and make sure he doesn't make any moves. We need that slipstream from Ocon to really make sure we stay in front. And that Williams is much improved lately as well, and I'm not sure where they've improved in terms of the car, so they might even be even stronger in the engine department. So we have to, you know, give that some thought. Through the chicane though, first time, lap 1 done, P10, good stuff. Now we're going to get a head down and try and get to work here today. Right, personal best, and DRS is now enabled. And a purple final sector from me as well, so 1 and 3 were good, middle sector is poor. So far though, so good. We are so poor for straight arm speed, it's unbelievable. We're really, really poor. Meanwhile, we're broken away here. The top 11 has broken away officially. You can see behind Stroll there's absolutely nobody, so that's good news. But yeah, we've just got no straight line speed whatsoever. Massive tank slapper there as well, taking too much confidence in attacking the final chicane. Also, we've got a train of cars here being held up by a Ferrari who seems to be going slow, so that's going to give us opportunities to stay with this pack, and that's going to really suit our strategy. So far this is working beautifully for me, and I'm not complaining. I would like to get ahead of Ocon because he's not as fast as Stroll on the straight, and if I can get ahead of Hulkenberg, that'd be fantastic. But then again, the Hypersoft runners should start coming in fairly soon, and I'm having to burn up rich mix because I need to stay ahead of Stroll. Look how close we are. Incredible exit, but then again Ocon's been held up by all the traffic in front. But look how he just races away. And now I'm running hot lap and rich mix. It's unbelievable. I just cannot compete with these guys. Stroll's lurking behind, but there's no way through that, unfortunately, mate. Through the final chicane, just focusing on the exit. To be fair, Stroll stayed pretty close to me here. He might have a run to turn 1. I'm going to have to go defensive and defend my position. There we go. Oh, everyone's going very, very slow here now. Not sure what's kicking off, but a bit of debris on the racetrack there, I saw. These guys are going slow. I think it's time to start making the moves. They're going to be braking abnormally slow into, you know, brake zones. So we're going to get a chance to get these moves done. Damn, man. Stroll is just ridiculous in the straights. He just gets the momentum. I'm going to run very wide and swing out very wide to try and put him on the back foot a bit. There we go. That's going to buy me some time, but that Williams is stupid in the straight line because he's getting the mega toe from absolutely everyone, and he's still flying up to the back of me. So not much we can do in that scenario. Ocon comes in. There we go. First of the stoppers on the Hypersoft. And we've got a couple more cars as well. We're up into 8th place now. And there's a bit of a battle going on in front, involving my teammate Daniel Ricciardo. But now we're behind Hulkenberg, someone who you can probably actually keep up with a little bit easier. Having said that, Renault have really improved lately, and their qualifying in the last 2 races has been very spectacular. So they might have actually improved in the engine department. Who knows? We'll find out very shortly. Right into the hairpin. I wonder if we can make anything happen here on Hulkenberg. Good exit. Engine mode's boosted up. Do we have anything on the straight? Overtake, ERS engaged for the first time this race. We're pretty equal with him. Now we're just starting to reel him in, but let's see if he goes into the pit lane. Yes, he does. That's going to give us a couple of positions. We cut that final chicane a treat.
Daniel's in the pits.
Getting put off there. My brake zone was completely messed up because of Hulkenberg coming into the pit lane and not braking for the corner. I completely got put off there. So we're on 2 track extends already here. 1-1, I've got a penalty, so I cannot do any more, and I've got to be careful. We're already up to a podium position here on the one-stop strategy, so this is great stuff. Let's keep it going. And we're also seemingly breaking a bit of a gap to Stroll as well now, so we're putting away, which is good news. And Valtteri comes in, as does Sebastian Vettel, so we're going to inherit the race lead here. So good stuff. Let's keep it going now. Lap 8. Tyres are getting to that hot zone, 103 degrees on the left rear. Also, I've just spotted something which is for more concern. My gearbox is on 63%. There could be a gremlin in there this race. It's possible. we're in that area. Once it goes above 65, you're in the danger zone. So we need to watch that. Left rear is a threat. It's getting hot. I'm having to watch it. And I'm basically inviting Stroll back in and giving myself pressure again. But there's not much I can do. I need to keep the tyre under control. Stroll staying within my DRS, but Vettel is starting to really close up on him now. And I'm kind of banking on Sebastian making the move on Stroll, to be honest. We've got the left rear under control just about, which is good. I've had to take it easy for a couple of laps, but we should be okay now. Just got to make sure I stay ahead of Stroll on this back straight. Vettel's lurking. He's going to try and go for the move. I can see it in the mini-map. That's going to buy me the time that I need. Vettel goes for the move. It's a good move. He's made it work first time, and Stroll's lost a hell of a lot of time, so this is good stuff. Now, do I battle Sebastian, or do I just keep doing my thing? I'm kind of leaning towards just doing my thing, to be honest. I don't think we're going to win this race. I'm not sure. I can't remember what lap my scheduled pit stop is, but I think we're quite a way away yet, so I need to focus on keeping these tyres in the zone. Oh, not great traction. I'm going to cover off the inside. I'm going to force Sebastian the long way around. To be fair, he gets it done beforehand anyway. It's a pretty simple move for him. Hopefully we'll nab DRS. Struggling a little bit on the tyres. Not for tyre wear, but you know, I don't want to spin them up or put any extra force through them. I don't mind that. A right front lockup is fine by me. I just want to stay ahead of Stroll and keep out of DRS if possible, so we might as well use DRS while we've got it off of Sebastian.
Okay, some information on Perez. They seem to have an issue.
That suits me. One of my rivals, one of the people that are going to be competing with me today for positions, and it's actually a yellow flag. I think Perez actually might be out of the race. Forget that he's got a problem with his car. He's out. He's finito in this race. One more lap until we come in as well. We're coming in next lap, and we're comfortably staying ahead of Stroll here and managing the left rear. So everything's under control. Everything's looking good. And we're looking on course for a net second place here when we come in now at the end of this lap. Just have a look at the tyre wear screen. For the life of me, I cannot comprehend how I've killed my rear tyres that badly. It makes no sense at all. I don't understand where that's come from. Meanwhile, Stroll's come alive here. He's going to look for the move around the outside. No way through there, mate. And we're going to go to yellow flag zone. But you can see my tyre wear. It's 20, like it's double on the rears. I don't understand because I don't wheel spin the car. I've just got no explanation for that. It makes no sense to me. I mean, look, there's a little bit of wheel spin, a little bit of traction slip. I mean, that's because my tyres are absolutely knackered. It makes no sense at all. Right, Stroll's going to race me to the pit lane here, which is not ideal. I need to try and compete. He's going to back out of it right at the end. Let's get the limiter on. There we go. Right, that was close. That could have been a little bit sticky there, but luckily we didn't go side by side into the pit lane. Stroll was a little bit more wise, a little bit more savvy. So let's have a nice quick stop here. Hopefully we can come out ahead of him. Great stop, 2.2. Fantastic pit stop from the boys there. We're actually going to gain a little bit of time on Stroll. So that worked out beautifully. Great stop from the crew. We're going to get up to speed now. A little bit of traffic here on my right hand side. We can just rejoin in front of that. That'd be fantastic. It's actually Lewis Hamilton. And if Stroll comes out, it's neck and neck between Stroll and Lewis. They're going to be battling there. So that's going to help me out. We just got to try and switch on this super soft if we can. But we've rejoined in P6. Stroll and Lewis still going side by side, which is good news. So let's crack on with it here and switch this tyre on and get to work. This tyre feels phenomenal already. Right then, 6th place. No more stops. Let's bring it home. Stroll and Lewis actually got engulfed in a pretty serious battle. Meanwhile, Ericsson and Sirotkin come in, so we're promoted back up into 4th place. Let's try and now set a decent couple of laps in these tyres. Personal best, 110.3. Good stuff. And also Ricciardo's now involved in that scrap. There seems to be a almighty battle brewing for that 5th place, and we're just literally pulling away seconds a lap. Gap now nearly 9 seconds. This is going to really help us out later on when we start saving our tyres due to tyre overheating. So let's put these tyres to work while we have the chance and they're battling, and we'll take care of the tyre saving later on. I've now burned off my excess fuel, so we're on target. ERS wise, we're saving the battery. Bottas in the pit lane there. That's now promoted me onto a podium position. Vettel's done his stop as well, so Raikkonen should be in this lap. We've got a nice cushion.
Daniel's in for his stop.
and we're not really under pressure. The closest person to me is going to be Valtteri on the exact same tyre, so I think I can manage that gap. The only difference is he's on hyper soft, so Valtteri might have another stop left, and he will have another stop left. So aggressive strategy from Bottas there, so we haven't got to worry about Bottas anymore. He'll do another stop, so if he does catch me, we're not going to battle. Also, worth noting, the gearbox is on 66 or 67 now % wear, so we're now inside the danger zone, and we've still got 15 laps to go, so this could be a concern. Or no, I say that, it very much is a concern, so I'm kind of, that's what I'm thinking about at the moment, that's where my head's at. But so far, so good, and we're looking comfortable for this podium. Race pace has been fantastic, and we're doing a good job so far. There's Kimi in the pit lane. That's going to promote us now into second place, which is great. He is going to be pretty close to me though. He does go for the supers, so he follows Sebastian's strategy, so Ferrari doing the exact same thing. Do I defend from Kimi, or do I guarantee myself that third place in the podium? It's kind of a debate, or do I want second? We'll see how it goes. I'm kind of thinking at this point I'm going to just guarantee the third place, so I'm not going to battle Kimi too much because he's pretty damn close, and his tyres are about 5 laps fresher than mine, so he's going to have that edge on me. Bottas with a 109.3, pretty decent lap time, but then again, he is in the hypers. Meanwhile, Kimi now well on the back of me here, and he's got so much more pace. Also, I'm not really pushing because I want to make sure I don't actually enter the tyre overheating stage. That way I can just drive smoothly and drive my own race. So here comes Kimi. We're going to go to the inside because the AI are a bit retarded when they go for the inside line. They sort of brake check you on the apex, and they miss the apex completely, so we're going to let Kimi do the move the safe way. We should nab some DRS, so that's going to work out beautifully in our favour. Right now we're pretty much holding station, and we're looking to bring home this third place and a third place in a row after Monaco, which would be a great result. And slowly but surely I'm steering my championship back on track, even though we're still miles behind in terms of car performance. Oh no, Ricciardo's out. My teammate's out of the race. Damn, man. I don't think he's having a great race. However, it doesn't help he's out. Unfortunate one for Daniel there. We're going to miss out on some valuable constructors points when we just managed to overtake Toro Rosso in the last race, coincidentally. So Toro Rosso might have the advantage now, might have a chance to re-overtake us here. These tyres are so much better. I'm loving these. Temperature staying fixed to 100 degrees Celsius on the left rear. If not, sometimes it goes down to 99, which is fantastic. So we're nowhere near the danger zone, and we're running at a very strong pace and matching my personal best pretty much every single lap through sectors 1 and 2. I missed out a bit at the final sector because I don't have DRS or engine modes engaged, but it's still a strong pace. And also Bottas is catching, but not by much now. Those hypers are already fading, so doing a good job. And Kimi also, you can see, he hasn't really vanished in the distance. He's still visible, so definitely a pace improvement this weekend. But like I mentioned, we're still a long way away from where we want to be. And I can probably hear you all screaming in the comments saying, why don't you deploy your ERS battery? You've got a full battery. The reason being is because I don't need to. I'm not under pressure. I'm not challenged by anybody. It's a good chance to save the engine. This is my my sixth race with this engine, so it's not a new engine by any means. You know, we're kind of nursing it. You can see there's the engine and there's the gearbox. You can look at the values for yourselves, but we're nursing this at the minute, so I don't want to push too much. We took an engine penalty in Bahrain, and I don't want to take any more, so far so good. I've got to admit, the Red Bull's engine is actually pretty reliable. I'm quite surprised considering how many retirements they had last season. However, I would like to completely upgrade the control electronics, because once we get that upgraded all the way, along with maybe a gearbox upgrade, then we should be pretty safe. Meanwhile, here comes Bottas. I'm going to let him have the inside. I watch, he's going to take a bit of a stupid line into the corner here. Very stupid line. I could see it from a mile away. We just had to back out of it. Cost me a little bit of time, but I managed to get my fuel back on target. And we're going to nab some DRS, so we should make up for that lost time on the back straight. Oh, Sergio Perez out of the race now. Second retirement in this race. And it's another big, heavy hitter. Bottas stays out for one more lap at least, but he should be in very soon. I'm using hot lap ERS to make up for lost lap time. And Bottas comes in, there you go. That's going to get us back into third place, as expected. And that was actually a pretty strong lap from us. We used some hot lap ERS, but look at that, personal best. Just goes to show that we do have pace in the car when we need it. Admittedly, I had DRS there over the entire lap, but I still did a pretty strong lap, and I kept my tyre temperature under control. We actually extended the gap to Stroll there, so we've made up for any lost time. We now go back to running at a smooth pace and conserving engine modes. Okay, Bottas is now in P4. He's got past Stroll. Looks like he's on the late charge. The lap before, I did sort of, I think it was him, he just pumped in a 108 something, so he's on the late charge, Valtteri. Will he have enough laps though to catch me up? I'm not sure. If he does, I'll have to pick up the pace. Temperatures are still in a nice little region, so if necessary, I can always pick up the pace if I need to stay ahead of him. But right now, I think we're not going to be under too much pressure. His hyper, just like in the last stint, will fade quite badly towards the end. Bottas is a threat actually. He's really going fast. He's catching me a second a sector. I'm going to go hot lap for this entire lap. 2 laps to go to cover myself because I don't want to get caught out here. Also, this pressure is not ideal because this is when I might make a mistake and get that last track extend. I've got to be careful and push cautiously. 4.7 the gap though. Bottas has sort of run out of steam on this lap a little bit. Also, I'm only a 10th off my personal best, so I seem to have done enough here, I think.
Okay, some information on Raikkonen. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Ooh, I just got distracted by the radio message there, but Raikkonen, with a mechanical problem right at the end of the Grand Prix, he is 14 seconds up the road though, so it's got to be something big to give me anything. I can't see any yellow flags, so I think he should be okay, unfortunately. There's not going to be a second place on the cards. That got me tempted for a second there, but there's Raikkonen, he seems good to me, so Vettel wins it, there you go. A dominant win from Sebastian, really convincing win. Bottas 3.2 behind, and I've actually lent on the rear tyres a bit this lap. Haven't had to worry so much about tyre wear. Now, 3.2, we're on the brink of a penalty. We've had this situation before at Mexico last season, so let's just take it nice and easy through the last chicane. Let's not do anything stupid. Nice and easy. There we go. Right, there we go. 2 podiums in a row after Monaco. Back to back. Finally, our season is starting to get on track and take shape. But like I mentioned before, we're still a long way away. And we need to keep on piling on those upgrades. But a good third place here today.
Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's Ferrari on the top step once more.
Okay, looking at the final race results, Sebastian Vettel dominates the Canadian Grand Prix, 15 seconds clear of his teammate and 30 seconds clear of myself. I am the best of the one-stoppers alongside Lance Stroll, who picks up a phenomenal 5th place in his home race. Bottas on that 3-stopper, really good P4 for him, and he'll be happy with that one. Pierre Gasly P6 ahead of Esteban Ocon. Pierre Gasly also on the 3-stop strategy. Marcus Ericsson scoring points for Sauber, also Sergei Sorokin, and finally Carlos Sainz scoring the final point. Lewis Hamilton P14 with a 5-second penalty to his name, and further down the order Ricciardo and Perez retiring, and Harley only P16. 3-stop strategy from him. I wonder if he maybe had some damage or something, but he had a bit of a rotten race in the Toro Rosso. In terms of the driver standings though, we jump up into 4th place now, and we're really starting to get some momentum behind us, and we re-overtake Ricciardo. We also overtake Gasly as well, and we know we're looking pretty good in 4th place right now, only 4 points behind Raikkonen. And then Vettel is the man who's dominating this season by 48 points, making up for lost ground last season after missing out and throwing it away in the last 2 races. He's determined to win this one, and he's making a massive statement so far. In terms of the constructor standings though, Ferrari obviously following on from Vettel's lead, they're still dominating, but we remain in 3rd place, and we actually gained some points on Toro Rosso due to Hartley's poor result. I outscored Gasly, so simple math, we pull away. So a good race for us, and we're starting to turn a corner here. Meanwhile, Williams, thanks to the double points finish, they jump up into 7th place from last. It's a massive turnaround for those guys, and Renault now sit at the bottom of the table. But all in all, a great race today at Canada, and now we're going to move into the laptop.
You were cutting your way through the field during the race. Everything went your way today. It looked like you had a really good strategy for the race. It wasn't your rival's day today, was it? Do you have any comments about the collisions? Great, well that's everything.
Okay, so here we are then on the R&D screen. Now, chassis-wise, we're the best team by quite some way, and I think we're doing quite well here for ourselves, so we can afford to lay off that for a little while. We're going to focus on the aero now. So, as you can see, we have two options. Carl recommends this upgrade here for the drag, which would be a good upgrade, to be fair, to reduce drag. This one for the rear downforce and the diffuser is actually 1,300 points, so we can't buy that right now. So I am going to go for the upgrade that is recommended to me by Carl, and hopefully that arrives for the next race in France. That will give us a little push forward. We'll still remain fourth in terms of the aero chart, but we're still competitive. In terms of the engine, we're still second best, and we're looking pretty good, so I can't complain. And also durability wise, the car feels reliable. For me, the last upgrades we need to do here is control electronics level 3, and also, even more importantly, I'd say gearbox level 2. Luckily though, we have maxed out the gearbox, so we've done the 6 races. We didn't have any gearbox trouble, which I was really worried about, so we can now use a new gearbox starting from the next race. But all in all, guys, hopefully you enjoy this episode of Career Mode. If you have enjoyed it, then drop a like on the video. Also, do get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content, turn on notifications to not miss a single video from me, and finally check out these 2 videos on screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching this episode of Career Mode, and I'll see you in the next one very soon. Until then, goodbye.